Hi wood folk, my name is the Metagoblin. Today we're going to be talking about the kind of things that should have happened, should have been inside a Skyrim Special Edition, basically in order for it to earn the title of a remastered game. I mean, I'm going to go through some reasons. You may just think, oh well, that can be like fixed with mods. But you know, at the end of the day, it's kind of cheeky for a game developer to just say that, you know, we're not going to be bothered to, you know, remaster our game properly and fix all the things. We're just going to say you could download a mod to do it. And it's basically like saying, oh, this is other people's work that we're going to use in order to make our game more sellable. And it is, you know, it is a bit cheeky. At the end of the day, you cannot have, you know, there's a limited amount of mods you can actually have on console. So, you know, if we didn't have to download all these extremely mandatory mods in order to improve our gameplay, then we could probably have more of a mods that, you know, different mods which add something a little bit new, like, you know, new content mods and stuff. But anyway, let's jump in. I think the first thing they could have done is, well, actually remaster the game. I mean, obviously there is a difference. I'm not going to say there isn't a difference, but the difference is quite minuscule. It's not that big. You know, we compared it to Fable Anniversary the other day. All that's really happened is the resolution has been increased slightly on the textures, and the colour has been changed slightly to kind of give the illusion that they've actually done a lot of work when in fact they haven't, which is kind of funny. But you know, what they could have done is, why not completely remodel and retexture the races? You know, why not do that? Why not improve the quality of the race textures? Why not improve the quality of the weapon textures? You know, completely retexture some of the weapons or some of the towns. I mean, at the end of the day, you've got E and B mods which make the game look better than the Skyrim Special Edition, which is obviously why they actually had to give it for free on the PC, because obviously no one was going to buy it. And yeah, I mean, you've got mod, you know, just one guy making an E and B mod, one single guy, one single mod developer who can actually do a better job than an entire company of people. I don't know, I'm just going to leave that. I'm just going to leave you to think about that. The second thing they could have done is actually added, you know, a few quest lines. If you look at the Dawnguard DLC, I didn't really know this until a lot later, but in the Dawnguard you obviously get a big DLC, you get a big quest line and all that new content, but what I didn't know is actually, they do actually add a quest line which isn't related to the DLC. So it did actually add like a quest line. Why couldn't they have just added a few quest lines? You know, 2 or 3 long quest lines, like the quest for your Ethereal Forge, you know, those kind of quest lines. Why not add, I mean, what's the harm of adding something like that in? I mean, when I hear about these remastered games, I just cringe at the fact that, you know, someone's remastered the game but hasn't actually added any content or really changed anything other than the graphics. I mean, if you're going to do that, then you should definitely have the game a lot cheaper. If you're going to add stuff and you do basically what I'm going to say in this video, then yeah, then you can put a, you know, pretty hefty price tag and I wouldn't be that bothered about it. But when you've only just changed the graphics, then, you know, what do I got else I've got? Yeah, they could have extended like certain quest lines. You know, well, not extended, they could have added like different options. Say you're going through a guild quest line, maybe there could have been different options in the actual quest line. Maybe certain characters may, you know, there may be ways to keep certain characters alive, for instance. Or maybe there could be more content at the end when you complete a guild questline. Maybe the questline kind of continues. Maybe the guild questlines kind of join up when you complete all the guild questlines. Then something happens, like you get a special quest that kind of joins all the guilds together. Something like that. I don't know. They could have been very inventive with it, but I just don't think they really could have been bothered, because that would have costed them more money. The next thing, why not include filler content? One of my favourite mods is basically it overhauls the bounty system. In the bounty system, you just go to the inn, which is a pretty cool immersive way, but why not inside the inn have a billboard, you know, that kind of thing, and have like little notes like, this guy is wanted, you know, like a big poster, this bandit lord is wanted, this dragon is wanted, you know, that just to make, because really you have to go to like, there's like one bounty quest at one town at a time. Why not have like a number of them and make them a little, all those quests, well, miscellaneous quests, just a little bit more interesting. I also had the idea, I mean, you've got a lot of filler content in Fallout 4. You've got the settlement thing. I don't really know a lot about it, but basically, you know, you make your own settlement and you have to survive. I think that's a cool filler content, because obviously you don't have to like go and do quests to do that. It's kind of like well, it's not a distracting thing, it's just something to do when you're not doing quests. And so like you could complete every quest in the game and still enjoy the game. But I was thinking, you know, you could like go to a hold, you can go to a thane, not a thane, like a jarl, and say, hey, I want to become a town guard, and you say, right, you can become a town guard, right, I want you to go to this village, and then you go to that village, you're on guard duty, and it's kind of like that village is suspected of being attacked by bandits, and then you sit in this village and you defend the village against like waves of enemies, and you get paid for it. I mean, that would be pretty dope, just like little filler content, so there's things to do while you're not questing, to make the world feel more like a world. I mean, we talked about it in the top 10 things that we want in the Elder Scrolls 6. I think a lot of, they could have, I mean, if you go and watch that video, they could have added, you know, a few things that I talked about in that video, you know, in this remaster, but, well, they didn't. My fourth thing, that, I mean, they could have added some new items, you know, I mean, that's not going to take a lot of time, is it? Add some unique items, you don't even have to bloody remodel it. All you have to do is say, here's a dwarven longsword, but it has this specially unique enchantment. They could have added a few more unique items. They could have added gear in from, you know, that goes past Daedric armor, like how they added certain armor types in Dragonborn. You know, they could have done something like, they could have brought old armor types, you know, from Oblivion, from Morrowind. I don't really remember. Was everything in Oblivion? What armor sets were there in Oblivion that weren't in? No, I think they all were, weren't they? Apart from like maybe some of the sets from Shivering Isles, like the Amber set. You know, they could have added some new armor sets, you know, just to extend the game a bit and made it a bit more interesting. You know, but I mean, it's not a lot of work really, but yeah, they didn't. The last thing they could have done is balance stuff. There's a few issues in the game right now, like for instance, dual wield isn't really a damage boost even though you've got two swords in your hand, unless you press both mouse buttons down at once or triggers on the control pad, and then you get this like one single animation where you kind of get your weapons and like attack at the same time. But it's like really hard to actually like move and do that at the same time, and you couldn't just do that. I mean, if you're just spamming that all the time, it's kind of boring as well, just to get benefit from that bonus damage. And you know, we had that dual wield power attack, which was pretty overpowered, but at the end of the day, like, they could have made it better. Like, if you, well, I suppose they did, they increased the speed of dual wield attacks. I think they could have done something like that, like maybe when you attack once with a weapon in dual wield, then it also attacks with the other weapon. Like, I don't think they really did it that well. But anyway, another thing, you know, some of the shouts were completely unbalanced. Like, the level 3 shout would be less powerful than the second one. I mean, it would, like fire breath for instance, the third option would do more damage, like initially, but it would like do less damage per second, so you're always better just charging it twice if you're in a long fight. So, you know, just little fixes like that, for instance. I mean, you know, it doesn't feel like it's worth upgrading your fire breath shout if it's actually just going to be less DPS. And same thing goes for power attacks. Power attacks will do less DPS if you just only do exclusively do power attacks, but obviously you get the benefit of stagger. But I think they could have fixed that for power attacks to maybe actually do a bit more damage. It would have made a bit more sense. Like, you know, if you're doing some kind of power attack endlessly, you're actually, you know, realistically gonna do a bit more damage to that poor bloke who's getting his head crushed in. But you know, it wasn't. So yeah, just a few balancing things would have helped. You know, there's probably a lot of issues that you can talk about in the comment section that I haven't mentioned. They could have just fixed a few things. I mean, they could even fix like the major glitches in the game, which you can do, which are just ridiculous, but they just didn't. Anyway, I'm going to end the video there. My name is the Goblin. Until my next video, ciao.